Man, what happened to her? Oh, I hear her.
Yeah, that's why. Maybe that's what I heard. I thought I heard something in my headphones. I'm like,
We thought we lost you to the pan flute. We didn't know what
no.
was happening.
Yeah, Marius pan fluted you.
That's pan fluting over here? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I said. We said Marius got you.
Oh, well, Marius is kind of handsome.
He blows your clothes right off.
Now it's garbage.
Just another movie night.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are Just Another Movie Night. I am Scott.
I'm Joe.
And today we are talking trash.
Talking trash.
This is our show to review, spoil, debate, crap on, and give second chances to the hated, the lowest rated, and the much debated and often forgotten flicks on the internet, all while asking the question, is this the worst movie ever made? And if not, what, I already screwed everything up? Did I screw?
Yeah, you screwed it up. Like, why don't you just let me do the opening? I know it by heart.
You can do it.
I know your part better than you.
Yeah, you do. What did I leave off? I don't even remember now.
All while asking ourselves, is this the worst movie ever made? And if not, what is? Because we believe that you can't truly review a movie unless you know what the worst is.
Thank you.
And today on the show, we have a special guest star. Hi, Jared.
Hello.
He's talking trash with us.
It's good to be back.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So what happened? Last time we asked you over and we said, you have to watch this one movie. And it turned out to be a real stinker and you were mad.
Yeah.
And you said, well, now it's my turn. I'm going to pick another movie. Did you
Yes.
pick a stinker?
I think so. Gotta stay on course with this. You
I
know?
mean, is it safe to say that I don't think it was a stinker?
All right, we can talk about it. Yeah. Because today we are talking about a film that its tagline is The Last Train to Hell.
Oh.
We are talking about 1989's Behind the Door 3, or any of its original titles like Death Train, Evil Train, Dark Train, Amok Train, El Trino, and my personal favorite, Winds of Evil.
What?
Wow.
Okay, that's the worst of the titles.
That's what it was known as in Iceland.
Oh.
All of these are better names than Beyond the Door 3.
Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense.
No.
Yeah, this is a series not known for its trains. It's
No.
or its continuity, or doors for that matter.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
not many doors.
No doors at all.
Well, there were a couple doors, which I have some stuff to say about that. It makes no sense, but
I mean, there were some doors in this, but it wasn't like the door, the door.
Yeah, so let's just say this, okay? This is a movie that they changed the name of because 1977's Beyond the Door 2, which was actually called Shock, was titled this way to capitalize on the first movie's success, and I say success with quotations. The original film in 1974, which made anywhere between $7 to $15 million.
What?
On a $350,000 budget, $2 million of which went to Warner Bros. Because it was just an Exorcist ripoff, and Warner Brothers sued them, so they actually lost $2 million.
wow.
Because the first one is literally just Exorcist.
Wow.
It's a terrible film. We've watched it together as well.
Yeah, we watched it on Bad Movie Night.
Yeah, if for people who don't know, this happens a lot in horror films. People think they can't sell a film without a recognizable IP.
Mm-hmm.
So they take these movies that are successful and they go, hey, we got these other movies. Let's slap that title on and trick people into seeing it because they think it's a sequel to a movie they liked.
Mm-hmm.
But the weirdest thing about it is these films that are the first movies in the franchises are bad.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot. I actually wrote down a list of other movies that usually are cult fan movies, like in the cult community. The other ones that have done this are Zombie, Troll, La Casa. Okay, La Casa, guys. And
The house?
yeah, the house. Yeah, if you didn't know, Evil Dead 1 and 2 were repackaged in other countries as La Casa.
Okay.
And they were followed by movies called Ghost House, Witchery, and Beyond Darkness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
as La Casa 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5.
Wow.
5?
Yeah. And the other series is The Curse. And the reason I bring that up is because the Curse series comes back in this movie because a ton of people either starred in The Curse 2, The Bite. Okay, they all were involved in this movie. So I think this movie's telling us to watch The Curse 2, The Bite. I'm not sure if we ever will, but maybe we should, because there's 4 films in that franchise. Again, they're repurposed as The Curse 1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
Yeah. So this film was directed by Jeff Quitney, who also directed the horrible slasher film Iced. Anybody remember that?
Nope.
Yeah, we watched it together as well. It was
What?
terrible. Yeah, terrible.
Oof.
Yeah. It was written by Sheila Goldberg, who also wrote on another franchise with a title problem, which would be Zombie. She wrote Zombie 5, Killing Birds.
Oh my God! Wait,
Which we've
zombie,
also seen
like,
together.
like Fulci zombie?
Yeah, so even that movie is one of these movies that it's like a franchise that title they just put the name on. Originally, the original zombie movie is actually supposed to be Dawn of the Dead.
Oh my gosh!
They
Okay.
repurposed that movie under the title Zombie with no E.
Right.
And then they came out with Zombie, right, which was the sequel, I believe. That was the Fulci film. Mm-hmm. It's really confusing, but yeah, they there's a bunch of movies under that to the point where they got to Zombie 5, Killing Birds, which we watched together, has nothing to do with any of it. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a running thing in all these movies, and tonight we're talking about one in particular. So
Yeah. It runs the same thing.
yeah. So Beyond the Door 3, this movie has a 5.2 from 1,600 reviewers on IMDb. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I'm very curious to know about the cast and what happened to these people, because you
Oh, there's nothing to
told us that
know.
there's-
We have some people that we actually do know in
Okay.
this movie. This stars Bo Svensson, who is like a bad movie night all-star.
Bo
if you-
Svensson. Who did he play in this?
The main bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
He had a fake goatee.
Andromelech?
Dr. Andromelech.
Professor
Oh, Professor Andromelech.
Andromelech.
The guy who's meeting us to take the ferry to Ufir. What's his name?
Professor Andromelech. Strong Slavic name.
Yeah, he's in Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker, Primal Rage, Snow Beast, and Tarantino's movies Kill Bill 2 and Inglourious Bastards.
What?
Yeah,
Who
because
was
it's
it?
Tarantino.
He just put him in the side. He put him in
Yeah,
the
he
back.
plays like a preacher in one part and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other person is their main character or main actress, Mary Conart? I think that's how you pronounce it. Probably not. She plays Beverly, and she was in Mr. Baseball and Star Trek Next Generation.
Who was she in Next Gen?
I'm not going to tell you. Who cares? She's probably an ensign that got killed.
We interrupt this program to hear all of her lines in the show.
Something is pulling us. The beings have resumed their course into the string. 3 seconds to impact.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, this actress.
Wow.
Questionable.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
questionable.
Yep.
Talk to me in English. I don't understand when you're talking Serbian.
Would you like me to help you finish packing?
No, I can do it myself.
It's no way. Is that all that she's done after this?
Oh, that's the only thing that I could recognize.
Oh.
When I looked her up,
it.
that's all I could get. Like,
She's an American actress.
yeah.
It makes it seem like that's all she did after that.
Yeah, I mean, if I did
Wow.
this movie, I would probably retire after.
Yeah. And when I said the curse, right? The curse, the bite, right? There's a couple people in this movie. There is a character named Sava, who says her name constantly.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Sava. Sava's a thief, not a killer. Nobody sends money to Sava. Sava's smart.
Yeah, that character. We're gonna call her AKA Tank Girl, because she just wears like a Tank Girl helmet, like hat, and smokes cigarettes, and is virtually that character. She is in Curse 2, The Bite, with Bo Svensson. They're both in the movie, and the writer of this movie is actually the teacher in the beginning of the film.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know why everybody I looked up kept coming up under that movie, and I was like, damn, I guess I got to watch this thing.
Yeah.
Because if these people are involved, it's got to be at least something entertaining.
I hope so.
Yeah. And the first Curse movie I still haven't seen is the one with Will Wheaton.
Isn't that with Tara Reid? Wait,
No.
Is there a Curse movie with Tara Reid? Which one am I thinking of?
I think you're thinking of Wes Craven's Cursed.
Oh, Cursed. Oh, that's Christina Ricci.
Yes, Christina
Okay,
Ricci.
got
It's
it.
awful, too. If anybody ever wants to watch it after their show, I'm in. That's a terrible film. So, yeah, that's what we pretty much got, because otherwise, everybody else in this movie, like the cast and the crew, a lot of them are from the area that they directed this movie, which is...
Yugoslavia.
Yes.
What at the time was Yugoslavia.
Yeah. And and when I looked them all up, I said during the movie, like, all of these people died in 95 or 96. It was really odd.
We don't know what happened to them?
I can't find out information.
I thought you had some freaking info. That's your job, man. It's your job.
I gave you information. What else do
I
you want to
know what happened to them.
You think I'm going to go look up their obituaries and I'm going to find out all the information?
They all died at the same time. That's kind of suspicious.
It's around the same area and like pretty much young ages too, not that old. So I was just like shocked. I was like, wow, all these people died around this time. I was shocked that IMDb actually had that information that they all died. Usually you don't have that on
How
IMDb.
many of them?
At least 3 or 4.
Oh my God. Okay. Just something went down. I need to know. I'm going to be falling down the rabbit hole.
Maybe
after
there was
this.
war-torn area at the time. Who knows?
Yeah, that's weird because that's what would you say? 89 was the original, like when it came out.
Oh, that's another thing too about this movie.
The only thing I can think of at that point, because that's what the Berlin Wall came down, and then probably not too long after that, then maybe the Soviet Union dissolved, and then that's how we split Yugoslavia, and we got Serbia and Croatia.
Yeah.
So maybe around that time there could be that situation, or maybe there was some kind of war going on, something for land. Who knows?
Who knows? We're just guessing at this point.
Yeah.
It's not like we can find out because a lot of these people, they don't even have pictures on IMDb. That's why I was a little shocked that they had info enough to tell you that. A lot of them just worked on maybe like a little show, like an episode of a show as like technicians and stuff like that. That's what was odd. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the cast is hardly recognizable in this film. Like everybody else I looked up, I couldn't find out mostly anything that they were in. I didn't know any of it. So not worthy of even bringing up.
So then how they get it kind of makes you wonder how they get all of these people. So you probably filmed over there because it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, probably exactly why. Yeah.
That makes sense, but
yeah. And by the way, this movie, when we say it was filmed in 89, at least that's when it was first shown anywhere.
Right.
It didn't come over to America for a very long time. It was like a limited run, and then it didn't resurface until 2000 on DVD.
Okay.
So when we were joking around, we mentioned that somebody reviewed it exactly in 2001, and I said, well, I probably know why. It's because it didn't actually get seen until 2000.
And I think the person said he'd seen it like a couple dozen times.
Oh, wow.
Point.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe not. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. It's if you're saying that guy watched it that many times after about a year, 2 years.
Could be.
Wow.
Yeah. And I love that also. I looked up some critic reviews. Someone in the critic review said, well, only Vinegar Syndrome could release this on a Blu-ray. and that made me laugh. I was like, that's true. And it probably happened late, Vinegar Syndrome. So, okay. Here we are. Yeah. Now, you wanted to watch this. You had seen some of this movie and said, oh, this is the movie we got to talk about.
Yeah. So, a little bit of backstory to that. We watched Joe Bob on Shudder. So, I started watching but every time I go on Shudder, this movie was on. Yeah. The same scene, there was a scene in there where the train's coming around something, and it was like, I think Shudder's trying to tell me, you got to watch this thing. So I started watching it, sure enough, and I was like, I thought of you guys. I'm like, no, I got to stop. I got to hope you guys haven't seen this. We got to watch this thing. Yep. This thing is crazy.
It's funny because we also both had seen it with Joe Bob, and I think that it might have been the second movie of the night, and so he probably passed out. But I remember very, very vividly, like just waking up and constantly being like, what the hell?
Yeah, I
What the
remembered
hell?
one scene in this. One scene. That's it. Like when
Just
like,
the fire
The
thing?
fire. I remembered that for some reason.
I remember the train at jumping tracks constantly and driving all over the place.
Yeah.
Like that's how I remembered it.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a pan flute guy, which I remembered being heavier, but it didn't actually mean anything in the movie, which blew my
Pan
mind.
flute guy. We talked about this guy for like the whole movie almost.
Okay.
He's not even in the whole movie.
So let's talk out the plot if we can remember it.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I think I can, but I'm gonna need you guys' help. We're at least talking through this movie because the opening of this movie I think starts with, I guess it's a classroom. Is it start off with a classroom?
Yes,
No.
it does, right?
No, it does not. So it starts out with an opening in somewhere out in the forest. This group of people are coming around. You hear like it's either they're walking. You hear this. I see
that's
this one
right,
person
that's right.
clapping. We see this barn door open, and now everybody somehow is inside this barn, and we start walking towards what looks to be like an altar of some
Okay.
sorts. And there's some sort of type tarot cards going on.
That's right. And there's like really badly written names, but like someone had a marker and then they were like, "Oh, it's blotching right over the marker again."
Oh my God. I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Like at all.
They had these tarot, whatever these cards were, they were black. So they was like, hey, let's go to a craft shop and we're
Yes.
going to get one of those silver Sharpie markers.
Yeah.
And we're going to write on the back of this.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to play out for everybody. This is what's going to happen.
Oh my God. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's very hard to read, but it seems like we're supposed to because it has the main character's name written on it, but it's so hard to tell, and especially they shot it upside down, which is so odd right off the bat. And I think we also see this old woman that the movie's title card, like the opening credits say Gypsy,
Yeah.
but it didn't spell it properly, so what does it say?
Gipsy.
Gipsy. So we're gonna know her from Gipsy from now on, and she shows up and she looks like Large Marge, but if her eyes got like frosted white.
Yeah, she looks like
Yeah.
When she when Large Marge like freaks out in the
Yes.
truck like that.
Yeah, except for the bugging out clay animation eyes.
Yeah.
It's like creepy looking
Yeah,
woman.
it's bad.
And she has like no teeth, and the whole old woman like scare.
She's just like an old
like-
woman, witchy kind of looking cliche.
Yeah.
That's what she looks like.
But I believe after that they're pretty much setting up that this is some kind of cult, and they're going to whoever our main character is going to be like the sacrifice character, I guess.
All right. And
I mean, that's what they're pretty much setting up, right?
correct. Yeah. So one of the things which blows my mind to what happens, because the center card that they put on there is the last thing before it cuts to the next scene, is that it says Beverly's marriage.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, and I'm glad you could read that because I could not.
I did.
see
I don't
that.
even remember
I saw
that at all.
Beverly, but I couldn't understand the next word.
Yeah, it says Beverly's marriage.
Okay.
So of course it's got to deal with Beverly, of course.
Yeah.
And this is
But-
before we even meet Beverly.
Yes. We lead into that in the next shot.
Correct.
And which I believe now is the school where a teacher is telling them about going on some kind of field trip. And the field trip, I had to write this down because this one was cracking me up, is only $800 each in 1989, guys.
To go to Yugoslavia.
Of course, I looked up the inflation on that sucker. That is $2,034 in today's money.
Well,
$800 to go, and it's gonna be such a big deal. You're gonna go to Yugoslavia, right?
yeah,
I mean,
you think, well, at this point it would be Serbia.
it's Serbia, and it's gonna be a big ritual. You know, it's a big thing. It's very important for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go with you though.
Try not to lose them. It's a long walk to Yugoslavia. You guys, do you realize how lucky you are? You have the chance for $800 to witness an ancient Balkan rite. Something that happens once every 100 years.
I have
You
a
kids
question.
are gonna go on your own.
Yep.
I
by
feel
yourself.
like
No
why?
chaperones.
Why are they going? I don't understand. What are they going to study? Like they're supposed to be going there to study.
There's some kind of big ritual going to be happening in some kind of town.
Yeah, but they're
here.
not going to see any ritual. Aren't they going to learn something like study
Yeah,
something?
that ritual, I would think.
To witness an ancient Balkan rite. Something that happens once every 100 years.
So their parents are letting them, these high school kids, their parents are letting them go to Yugoslavia and just to see like a ritual, just to be like involved in like a ritual.
I guess
that's
it's supposed
bad
to be a
parenting.
once in a lifetime thing for them to witness.
Well, you would think if they're going to a Yugoslavia, you're going to another country.
Yeah,
You're gonna have a chaperone with you.
You would think.
Yeah, but you think you'd be going to some school, you'd be going to some maybe your embassy or to that country's embassy to learn something about that.
No,
about
man.
the country.
They go meet
But
Dr.
no.
Andromeda. And he picks them up at the airport. I mean, that's what's happening. Who the hell is this guy? He could be a murderer.
I agree with this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're just sending your kids off to a different country, to meet this wacko guy, this creepy guy with a really bad, like, fake goatee. I mean, if they have a goatee, they're evil.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it is. And by the way, he looks like Penn Jillette when he lost weight.
Ugh.
It's like creepy. You know what I mean? It's just something's off about it. It's like off-putting. I don't know what it is about it. But before we get to that, I just want to point out that we do cut to her in the shower. I have to bring this up. It's not because of the boobs or anything like that, but it is because of her really interesting birthmark that is like a Guy Fieri like flame or something like that. Is that his name? Guy Fieri?
Guy Fieri.
Fieri?
Guy Fieri.
It's like one of his flames.
It looks like a lock of his hair. You know how he has that pointed hair? It looks like a devil horn.
I guess it does. It does kind of. It's around her belly button and it's going up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's a huge. Yeah.
It's very detailed. Usually birthmarks are what this thing is like drawn on. It's so perfect.
It looks like a tattoo.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, it is. It's like the worst. In this shot, when the shower, it looks decent, but later on in the movie, it looks like it was painted on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It totally changed.
It totally changes.
Can we say that? Okay, this is Beverly. This is our main character. Now, can we just talk about? This makes sense.
Her and her mother.
This birthmark that she has makes sense. This chick is next level creepy. She just creeps me out.
She is extremely off-putting.
And she's actually not a bad looking girl. She's cute. But there's something about her that creeps me out. So we know that they picked her for reasons. That's what I think. She just looks creepy. She acts with her eyeballs.
Yeah, her acting is questionable in this film. I mean, it's odd. It comes off odd the whole time. She does that thing. What I always talk about is eye acting.
Yeah,
she's got her bulges her eyes out all the time, or she scrunches her face up like she's mad. That's literally all of her emotions in this film.
Or she has a dead stare.
Yeah, a dead stare.
It's crazy.
And we have to experience this when she talks to her mother in the whole next sequence because the first off, the mom busts into the bathroom while she's in the shower naked, and she freaks out. Mom, what the hell are you doing? She gets really mad about it. But the mother, we cannot understand any of her lines.
No,
apparently in this scene she's talking in different languages, right? So that's okay. But the scenes where she's not talking, like she's talking English, like what the hell? What's happening?
They just want us to know that she's Serbian, right?
That's it.
Yeah, I think she's saying that this is your home country.
This is your heritage. Your father was Serbian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she says that this is the town that she's going to, that she's visiting for the field trip or whatever, is where her father was born.
Yes.
That's where her father is from.
And this is like important to her. And the mother seems, now you feel like the mother might be questioning her being not safe, but she's not. She's like, yeah, I can't wait for you to go.
I mean, it's so bizarre because, like, honestly, my parents didn't even want me to go to grad night, and that's in Orlando, okay?
Exactly.
Like, you're going to send your kid off to this country by herself with who knows who? I mean...
And a single parent having $800 to send your kid off to, I mean, that's...
I'm sorry. That's not a thing. Like, I mean, I don't remember too many things in like high school, like, trips wise and stuff, but like, wasn't there like a big trip to like Paris in school?
I didn't get to go to any of that.
I didn't either.
I know it might have happened.
Yeah, my high school was Cancun.
Okay, Cancun.
It was a senior trip.
The senior trip.
The senior trip, yeah. It was Cancun.
Okay, well, I mean, I think that like Yugoslavia is kind of crazy. You didn't go?
No, I didn't go.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Cancun.
Yeah, you mentioned grad night. Grad night is in Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your parents don't want to let you go to Disney, that's basically all it is.
Yeah. I mean, I got to go because it was, it was chaperoned. Yeah. But I mean, this shit, it's like, here, just go to Kirkplekistan and, get murdered.
Yeah.
What? Who does this? And it's just like, I don't get it. This woman's so creepy too. Her mother is creepy as hell.
And she's very happy that she's going.
Yeah, she's very happy.
So why wouldn't the mother be going with her?
Right.
Yeah, right. And also, I will say that the daughter relationship with her mother is awful. Like, she's awful to her mother, apparently. Like, she's like, you're going to have fun with your friends. She's really, really into her going. Right? Because she's like, you got friends. And she's like, I don't have any friends. They're not my friends.
Remember to keep warm. It's cold in Yugoslavia. They don't have central heating like here, you know. You're American, but for God's sake, never forget your origin. Nothing to be ashamed of. Your father, he was Serbian too. God bless his soul. You'll have a wonderful time with your friends.
Mother, they're not my friends.
Well, they will be if you only let them. You'll see. Beverly, I almost forgot. I came across this while I was throwing out some stuff of your father's. It comes from the same region your father was born, Ufir. That's where you're going.
I love you, Mom.
Well, maybe because you're a weirdo and you're like mean.
Yeah, I think the mother even says that. Like, you should work on it a little better. And if you work on it a little better, they're going to be your friends.
She's like over eye acting. Stop over eye acting and being mean.
And the funniest shift comes here because the mother goes, oh, and by the way, I have your father's book. And she gives her like this old book. And then now all of a sudden the actress's mood changes and goes, I love you, Mom.
I mean, it looks like Dracula's diary or something.
It does,
I mean, come on.
I kind of felt when she said, I love you,
Van
Mom,
Helsing.
it was kind of like that Southern, well, bless your heart type thing.
Yeah.
It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, wow. That's the way it comes across on screen to me. I mean, it's like you're saying it in a way where it's like, Mom, why are you giving me this goddamn book?
Yeah.
You think that's how it came off? I guess I can see that.
Can I ask a question here? And I mean, I'm sure I'm wrong, but I'm getting the sense like this woman gave her this book. It's like, at first I was like, wait, is she sending her off to be a sacrifice?
I thought this too.
Yeah.
She is, right?
It makes it seem like that's what's going on.
I mean,
it does, especially since the mother just jumps in a cab and she goes somewhere like suspiciously. And she's like, bring me to this place. So her mood changes.
Where was she going after she dropped the girl off at the airport?
I don't know. She
understand
mumbled something.
Yeah.
Where to? Glendale Boulevard and Burbank.
Okay, everything about this mother is suspicious, but like I couldn't help but think like she gave her this book, like, and she's sending her daughter off, like she knows like there's some kind of ritual about to happen.
And should we also question the fact that if she already kind of know this is a trip that's planned out months in advance, right?
Yeah.
So why is it in the hotel right as you're about to get into the gate to go to the plane, you hand her the book?
Yeah, is that like a warning?
Yeah, that's what you have to assume.
Well, you find out later on in the end of this film that there is something important in the book she needed to look at.
Right.
I guess.
Well, that's kind of.
Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it.
I mean,
but
seriously,
still.
if I was on the plane and I had this book that belonged to my dad, I mean, the first thing I would do when I sat down in my seat is look at it. It doesn't seem like she does that. They just skip over the whole plane ride.
No, because she's so angry. Yeah.
Did you not know anything about your dad? That now your mom is just now telling you about your dad?
Yeah.
Because you're going on this trip to Yugoslavia, which is no backstory to that at all?
None. Yeah. And
this is what we have to assume. That's why we're talking this out now.
Weird
we know
shit
more
happens.
about it than the movie does.
Yeah.
I would love to hear someone tell me if that mother actually did know what was happening.
It's odd, too. Yeah, well... the really important thing here, I guess, is that this is very Omen-like because the next shot is the mother being accidentally killed in a traffic accident.
Yeah, she's like decapitated.
Which is what happens to the guy in the Omen, right?
Yeah.
Same exact thing. Something goes flying through a car window and gets them.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like, it's almost like, but see, that would make sense for the mother to be killed if she was like trying to warn her not to go. Because like stop hindering our ritual or whatever.
Yeah.
But she was actually encouraging her to go. So why would
Which makes
she
me
get
believe
killed?
she is involved.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's weird to me.
The only reason to kill her is to warn her. Or I guess I don't. Well, I guess we'll get to it later on. But I guess I'll just say that maybe Satan just didn't want a mom around.
I mean,
guys don't like mother-in-laws.
He doesn't want a mother-in-law.
Yeah.
But
I can't add this up at all.
It's very bizarre. I feel like the mother is very bizarre to me. I need an answer on that.
And I think even more odd is they go to a tugboat. I guess they fly over, and we have the whole class with them, which I believe is 2 other women, and I think 3 other guys.
Yeah.
No,
4. Right. There's 4 guys.
Yeah, there's 3 women.
Who's the 4th guy?
Yep. Okay, so we have the guy.
Oh, you're right. The 4th guy. Okay, I know who you're talking about.
In the cabin.
Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
4 guys and 2 women besides our main character.
Right.
And they get to a place and they meet Bo Svensson, who we were laughing about. Who's, I guess we should point out his acting, his accent, because this is a Swedish actor, and he is doing, I don't know, the comical villain, like you said already with the goatee, but also his accent. He's really going for it, and of course he's dressed like the Count Dracula.
Professor Apocalypse.
Yeah, he's even got a cane with some kind of animalistic like handle. I don't know what it was, but they showed it a lot, and I couldn't understand what it was.
Yeah, they showed it in the beginning.
Yeah.
In the opening scene, they show somebody with that cane.
Yeah.
And then we see it, probably like 4 or 5 more times?
Yes.
So, I mean, it makes it seem like you're supposed to foreshadow to what's going on, but doesn't really make any difference.
It doesn't make. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. I mean, they seem like it was going to come back, but it never does.
No.
He brings them to a tugboat to go across the water to some kind of island. I'm guessing. I really don't know where the hell they're going.
Miss Chase, the guy who's meeting us to take the ferry to Ufir.
But when they get to the tugboat, someone stops Professor Andromeda, whatever his name is. Apocalypse.
What's his name?
Professor Andromelech. Strong Slavic name.
What is it?
Andromelech.
Andromelech.
Very
like
strong
Apocalypse.
Serbian name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. Someone stops him and gives him a telegram that is that the main girl's mother has died.
Yeah.
If it was intentional that she was involved, I don't know why the telegram would ever go to him.
Right, because the
They would already
telegram
know.
would be halted. They would stop. The forces would try and stop the telegram from getting to her, because there's like a prophecy or something.
Yeah, or why would this guy even run up and give him the telegram? You think everybody's involved.
Right.
So they would just cover it up. It already would have been like...
And how would he know to go to him?
Yeah, exactly.
You're just going to run up to a guy because you were with the people? How did you know she was in that crowd?
True.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was the school teacher who didn't come on this trip with them, which is odd.
Yeah, how bizarre is that? Yeah. Like, who doesn't go on the school trip to where...
that's weird.
That's so weird. But, I mean, the telegram clearly says that, they give you a time to read it. It says, send her, back to the embassy so she can come home.
Yes.
And he just he crumbles up the message and throws it in the freaking water.
I love that they show her face like she's reading it from inside the tugboat because she's staring outside the window, but she's making a face like she's reading it as well. Or she somehow knows that her mother's just died.
No, I think that she's just brooding. She's just a brooder.
What is it in that moment to brood about?
Well, I mean, have you met this character?
I guess that's true.
She's freaking...
She's got no friends.
They pick on her.
Let's hammer that in because we have like a little meeting around a table where they talk about some stuff and they talk about how the ritual, I guess someone questions that this is some kind of Christian ritual, but it's way before Christianity because they said it's very similar to like Jesus. And he says, oh, you're right, but this predates that because it's the only reason it's connected is because they use a virgin. And all the kids like start laughing and they go, we only know one virgin here.
Yeah.
So this is where they point out that they treat her like crap.
Let me get some heavy eye acting.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he also gives out pins that look exactly like her birthmark.
Yeah.
And they go, this looks just like her birth. Oh, shut up. She didn't hear that. She's like right next to them.
I'm curious to know how they know about that.
Yep.
I guess showers. I mean, she does shower with the curtain open a lot, so maybe she does that in
in
school.
her own house.
Maybe she does that in school in gym class. I don't know.
I don't know. This character doesn't give me vibes like she'd be in the gym shower with this situation.
She doesn't. She doesn't remind me of Carrie, which made me think. All I kept thinking about was how she is that character.
How she's gonna be like the whole plug it up scene where they're just gonna bully her in the shower.
In the shower, which made me go, okay. Like they started this movie with a shower and her naked, her showering. just like Carrie, and they're referencing that they've seen her birthmark. All my mind went to was that movie.
Yeah, I just don't see that as a thing happening where they would ever see it. Like she's the type of person that would be so self-conscious of something like that, she would cover it up.
Yeah, and she's pretty, and it's odd that none of these guys are like into her.
Well,
you know what I mean? It's like, it's weird.
I mean, she's kind of off-putting, like, you know, very
I guess so.
shy, and she seems very standoffish and kind of comes off kind of bitchy.
That's why I think later on that's what's shocking to me, is because they go to this island, right? And then when they get to this island, it's like the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a dead forest.
It's like a swamp type,
like
place.
a swampland.
It's very dreary, man. Like I don't know. If I was on a school trip, I definitely would not want to come here. It looks like someone is going to be sacrificed in these woods.
That's my first thought. I would never even. No way.
It's like, are we in the Blair Witch or the Evil Dead here? Like, what's going to happen?
You can't instantly. Like, when you watch this movie and you've seen any other horror movies, you know instantly what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get there, of course, it's a horror movie. So every single villager in town, old people, it's always old, stereotypes of like old people and horror films are always just creepy no matter what they are.
Scarves on their heads, and they look like they just smelled shit.
They haven't slept in years.
And they haven't slept, and they're rotting.
Yeah, you can smell like
potato
soup and shame and alcohol.
Just
on them all.
Yeah, like this chain smoke, like those kind of just.
They're all standing against a tree, and they're all doing like a grin. Like smiles.
Yeah, some of them are like kind of grinning because one guy even like I guess Beverly drops her a glove.
Yeah, I
at
think
one
so.
point.
Something.
And one guy, some old creepy guy, bends down to pick it up to her, and the look on his face is like, oh.
Okay, he looks like a
the whole
corpse.
Thing too. Yeah.
Now, like they go out of their way to make these people look repugnant. They look like zombies. I mean, their eyes are red rings around their eyes. They look dead.
Well, we were talking about this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think they actually use villagers that were from.
I do too. That's what I think the cast is.
I think that's literally
that may
people that were in that area.
Yeah,
they're like, we'll pay you $5.
I think so
but
too.
But that may be the case. But you can tell they went out of their way to make them look extra creepy.
Well, something we noticed in the movie, and I think this helps to that. They did something to the color grade of the film to make this look even drearier.
Yeah.
So they put some kind of purple tint on the film. We caught this only because a lot of the characters' hair turned purple.
Yeah.
In the scene, and we were like, "What's going on with everybody's hair? All of a sudden, they're all purple." And I was realizing, this was probably to make them look whiter and more sickly, and also make the rings around their eyes pop.
Yeah, the guy that ends up giving Beverly back her glove looks like his skin is opaque. It's almost like the point you can look right through it. It's bad.
Yeah.
He had like red ring around his eyes. It was bad.
They definitely fixed them up to look this like creep factor 11 for sure.
Well, it's no shock that when they get to the actual village, which is crazy tree house, like this is where they're going to stay, they're all dressed like they're in America, and they're in the middle of this just houses built out of like just like bad wood. You can see right through the
like
house.
Tree branches.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's like thatch huts.
And then and they split up. Our main character goes separated, and while the rest of them get huddled into some kind of like little shacks with bunk beds.
Yeah,
and it is freezing out.
Oh, they're still wearing their North Face, jackets, the Gore-Tex.
Yeah.
Gore-Tex. Yeah. So, like, they're all wearing that's how they're sleeping. You realize that, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like, in full coats, they're sleeping.
It's freezing in there. There's no, there's no walls. No. Like, it's just coming right through. Every environment is just coming right into this room with them.
Like, let me tell you, my $800 could be better spent, like, on a shopping spree.
For this.
Go buy something, nice for yourself. I'm not going to Yugoslavia in the dead of winter.
Nope.
Sorry, not doing
never.
that.
Yeah. And she gets separated. She gets brought to the hut with her, what was it? Not Gypsy, but what was it again?
Well, no, she was in there too.
She's in there.
What's her name again?
Oh, Gypsy.
Gypsy. So Gypsy is in there, and she is so excited to smell this woman because she can't see. Oh. She's so excited, and she has made some soup. I wrote this down.
She's made some soup.
Because I just wrote random things to talk about, and I just wrote...
Professor Pretorius is in there with her.
Because I think her name, she says that, he brought her in there. They virtually are locking everybody into their rooms, and they brought her in here, and he's like, I think he says her name is Versus?
I have no idea.
No idea. I
couldn't understand what he said, but then he's like, drink the soup. So that was like a whole thing. And like, no, you should have it. She goes, I don't want any soup.
Yeah.
Drink the soup. Drink some of Versa's soup.
I'm like, yeah, you can blow it out your asses. There's no way in hell I'm going to put that soup in my mouth ever.
Yeah, and the hot ladle. Drink it from the hot label. You're not going to get your own bowl or a spoon. Drink from this ladle.
Share it with us.
This is where you will stay, and this is Vesna. I am very cold. I must have some hot soup. It's very nice with hot soup. Would you like some hot soup, Beverly?
No, thank you.
I think you will like some hot soup. Olen supu. Alan.
Oh, great.
Dobro, Vesna. Dobro. This is good soup, Beverly. Come.
Yeah. First Gipsy tries some, and Dromelix tries some, just to show, you know what? Hey, this isn't pretty bad.
Yeah.
Come on and try it.
Look at these two weirdos that are eating the soup. I'm not gonna eat it. No, I'm sorry. You can just fuck yourself. I'm not gonna eat that soup.
And when you know it, it's drugged. Wow, what a shock.
Jeez.
So when she passes out, Gipsy starts reaching into her underwear.
Okay, now this lady is blind.
Yeah.
But
watching her excitement in her face.
She looks very happy when she's, well, we can only describe her as being inside this girl. Now, I'm going to just say something, okay? That kind of activity would wake someone from their slumber.
Yeah, I mean, that was some good drugs.
I mean, I don't care. If you slept 4-5 hours and you had something, doing that to you, I think you would wake up. And she's all right.
I feel like Bill Cosby would disagree with you, but...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sorry, too soon?
Yeah.
Too soon?
Gross.
Yeah. And I imagine he looked just like Gipsy in the scene, too. When he was,
oh, my God.
Her mouth was gaped open the entire time.
With the gums.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was just gumming the scene.
Yep.
And they have now locked in everybody else in their rooms, and they went to sleep. So they must have ate the soup as well. I don't know. But they went right to sleep. They're in bunk beds. And the bunk beds... And by the way, we didn't say this, but when the woman's head got knocked off the mother's head, actually kind of looked good.
Oh my God, it did.
It does look like a mask, but her mouth was still moving. So there was like facial movements in the mask. So that was like the start of this.
It's pretty decent gore.
The same thing goes here. The beds start going on fire. So... Well, I guess they laid out the fire track on there with a little pipe to shoot out some flames.
Yeah.
Still looks super dangerous, and the kids get through it. They
Yeah,
have to go
I'm not
through
about
the
to
scene.
do all that. No way.
So it looked kind of dangerous. But the problem is, when the rooms all start going on fire, the multiple rooms, I think there's 2 rooms in particular. I think the women are in one, and I think a guy is in the women's room, and then there's 2 guys in the other room. Well, when they all wake up, the only one guy does not wake up. There's like a younger guy, and he just sits up in bed, and for some reason is like in a trance.
We have no idea what's going on with that.
No.
If any one of you has seen this movie, we need clarification on this, please.
Yeah.
Did we miss something of what happened to this boy?
No, he just takes it.
He just sits up in bed and looks at the fire, and is he frozen in fear? Is that what happened? And he couldn't move?
I think
he takes it.
Whatever's going on in this movie is killing them. I feel like almost in like the weaker-willed people go first.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Well, he doesn't have any lines. This actor.
No lines. This guy.
He's the one that says back on the train that he says, "Well, I only know one virgin."
Oh, okay.
Maybe that was his only. He said. I think he probably says a couple other things before that.
And you know what? This actually goes to something that is said as well on the train when she runs off after all that. Professor Aguilera, whatever his name is.
Agamemnon.
Yeah. He walks in and he basically says, they're terrible to you. They're all awful to you, right? Mm-hmm. So then there's like a running theme about they don't deserve to live because they insult you and you're so important. So I don't know if it's because he was the one that made the comment first That's the reason he goes first.
All right, it might connect back to that.
Yeah, I think it might.
True.
Because they start going out as they become more and more aggressive toward her. There's definitely a character who is aggressive toward her and dies right after that.
Okay.
So it seems like a running theme with the movie, maybe trying to take out the people who are mean to her.
Yeah, it was a little later on. That's why it kind of confused me. I gotcha. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, I don't know. This is me spitballing or trying to make sense out of the film. But
we still don't know. I mean, I'll never know why this guy just sat there and let himself burn.
So you want to talk about how they try to open the door?
On top of the fact, in case you didn't know it, they nailed the boards to the frame of the doors.
So it should just open.
So all we had to do was just kind of pull on something. And would it just open right up?
So the villagers or whatever.
The doors open out too.
No, they open in.
Oh, they open in. So they're saying those boards would block it.
The boards were on the outside of the frame.
The frame, so the door should open inward.
The door should have just opened inward, but they were having a hard time opening up the doors.
Because they were pushing outward when they were trying to get out from the fire.
They were all trying to push out against the boards that were on, like tacked on. And all I kept thinking was, just rip this. It's a loose board. You can see it. You could just rip it off and crawl through.
Right.
Which they finally start doing.
Well, the one they pull off the bottom corner of the door.
Yeah.
But there's a frame around the door, and then there's about 5 to 6 inches of that frame, and then you have the door.
Yeah.
So they have a board going across the frame of the door, which wouldn't even touch the door. So all you had to do is just pull the door open.
Oh my God. They actually go through a lot to get out of here.
I also love these little huts. I don't know if you guys noticed this. They have windows. Did you notice the actual frames in window?
Nobody tried to jump out of the goddamn window.
I kept thinking, someone put in glass windows into this shithole thing that they knew they were going to set on fire.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive that they brought all of these kids out there, just to lock them into a cabin and
some kind
burn
of sacrifice.
them.
Yeah, but they all get out except for one kid dies.
Yeah,
and they all run out, and then the villagers just watch.
There's a thing that they do with rocks, right?
That's what you said in the beginning.
They're clicking rocks together. Now, this was happening when they first got there, when the kids first arrived there. I don't know about you guys, but if I saw some crazy shit like that, I'd be like, yeah, there's some sacrificial thing happening here, man. This ain't right.
Well, moment one, I would have been like, there's something wrong.
Right, but if they're there for a ritual,
I guess
maybe
that's
this
true.
is part of the ritual.
Still, the whole thing, they're going for a ritual. I mean, who goes for a ritual? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, there are customs that we go witness.
There are customs. This
is
is like a dark, magic, whatever.
We know that. These kids wouldn't know that.
No.
I don't know. Whenever I hear the word ritual, I feel like there's going to be some kind of
absolutely.
virgin sacrifice.
I'm not going. Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah.
No.
I don't care what ritual it is. I don't give a crap.
Nope.
Like, what is it? What's the baby when you put the baby in the water? I don't want to go to that.
The baptism?
Yeah. Seems creepy to me. Everything about it seems creepy.
Yeah, well, if we go to a church, we'll burst into flames anyway.
Honestly, I don't know about that, but maybe.
I will.
Yeah, it's like you're fake drowning a baby. It's like you're gonna dunk the baby.
Yeah,
they don't even dunk the baby. They don't even do that anymore. They just drop the water on the head.
They sprinkle the water on the head. Yeah.
I was made the Godfather, and I know the Godfather is the one that's supposed to dunk the baby, and I was like, oh. Please, God, don't make this happen in my life.
Well, yeah. Well, our goddaughter is 3 years old now, so if that happens, she'll be screaming her head off. She screams her head off, and I'll scream my head off, and then we're out. We're going to Chuck E. Cheese.
And everybody starts screaming. We're out.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
And the priest starts chasing
and you guys,
us.
I'm going to do something awkward or off-putting and accidentally make a fool out of myself. I know it, so I'm completely afraid.
I'm signing off my rights as godmother.
I know.
Uh-oh.
No one else better have a kid. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's it. We're out. I mean, we love you all. Thanks for considering us for this position.
Once enough.
Yeah, that's a ritual. No, but so of course the kids all run off, and they go running, and the girl wakes up from the drugging, and she runs into them, and one of the kids that we didn't even realize existed hugs her in a way where I thought, oh, there's a romantic lead that has never mentioned any time they've insulted her. He hasn't said anything. Well, that's quickly forgotten about because after he hugs her and she hugs him caringly, these two characters never talk again.
Nope. And I have a question, just to rewind a smidge. She was sexually molested in her sleep.
Yes.
Now, something like that happens, I would assume that you'll wake up and you'll feel some kind of way in your vagina. I mean, you guys are men, but
you
I'm
would
just
have
saying,
to tell us about that.
Like,
Our vaginas don't know
it's
about
like
this.
someone poking your pee hole or something, you know? Like that's the
I
same.
would definitely know if that's someone poking my
Right.
pee
So
hole, Joe.
if she woke up and she wouldn't feel like some kind of way that she was just like, poked and prodded at.
You tell
especially
me.
since she's a virgin.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
isn't this woman deflowering her?
Well,
no.
At this point,
I think she's checking to see if she's a virgin.
But all right, but then now you're saying that being a virgin is in a sexual nature. But it's if you want to look at it, if she's been penetrated, then she's been penetrated. She's not a virgin.
I think it takes the hymen to be.
Yes, but she just put her fingers up there.
Possibly
okay?
fist.
So who knows what was going on up there?
Jesus,
I'm just saying.
Is going too far
I think that this movie, okay, they could have cut out that witch lady putting her fingers up there.
It
I think that was
multiple
a bit
times.
much.
Yeah.
Especially since they already know because they're making fun of her that she's a virgin. So why would you be poking at her?
They have to make sure.
This movie's
I'm
very.
just gonna say, they have to make sure for later on if she's a virgin. That's a whole plot line of this movie.
All right.
But
It is a very big plot line to this movie, guys. And if she wasn't in this moment, the movie would have been over.
I don't know. I would just feel some kind of way if I like woke up and I felt like, oh, that don't feel good.
Yeah.
I would think so too, but she's not a normal person.
No, she's not.
She doesn't take anything in any bad way.
Nope.
No.
Everything that happens in this movie, this chick just like, okay, that's a thing that happens. I'm fine. Let's
Yes,
move along.
it gets worse and worse. And they all run now. And now they took a boat to get over to this place. But suddenly they're able to run, and there's a hill and a train.
Yeah, they come out of a forest or like half forest.
Yeah.
To be able to run towards train tracks.
Yes. So this is where we finally get the train that this movie is, kind of known as.
30 minutes
a train film. Yeah, I was wondering how long it's been.
Is it 30 minutes of train?
It's been about 30 minutes before we finally get the train.
30 minutes before we get to the train.
Yeah.
Because the train is the movie.
Yeah.
It's the central character from this part on, right? So these characters finally are able to catch up to the train, and the train won't stop for them, so they all jump on, except one girl doesn't jump on. And the nice guy who hugged her when she ran out decides he doesn't want to leave her by herself, so he jumps off like a good guy, but instantly breaks his leg.
I mean, he's very brave. I felt bad for that dude. He didn't want to leave her by herself in the woods,
Yeah.
I felt bad for him. That sucks.
Yeah, we find out that his actual bone has come out of his leg. He's still walking around.
No, she's dragging him around.
So the rest of this movie is, for these two characters anyways, they're going to be hobbling around in the forest.
Yep.
So that's their character arc right there.
That's it.
That guy's gone. So the rest of them have to get onto the train and see if they can get the train to stop for their friends. Well, that sequence takes a little bit of a time here because they stop and try to ask people to stop a train, or where's the when is the train going to stop? How long? Where's the next stop?
No, nobody speaks English.
They all stare at him, stare at these guys, and then they finally find the conductor who comes out. I guess not the conductor. Is he a conductor?
Yeah, he's
I guess
a conductor.
So. He comes out, and I wrote this down too because this really pissed me off. They go up to him and they're saying all this dialogue. The one guy's like, "Oh my god, when we got stopped, we got to call the police. Our friends, there's people like my friend died and all this stuff." And then the other girl goes, "I need to get to a phone."
Yeah.
She says this after the guy is clearly not understanding anything he's saying.
She has to call her agent and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
She says it so nonchalantly, like they were gonna cut, like everybody was gonna laugh, and then they left it in, and then our main lead decides to finally speak up and go, "I speak Serbian."
Look, we're in trouble. Do you speak English? Do you understand?
Please. I really need to get to a phone.
You gotta stop the train. You got friends back there.
Somebody got killed. We need the police.
Molim vas. Gospodine. Izvinite me.
Yeah, she comes in out of nowhere.
Yeah, and she speaks this guy clearly.
Meanwhile, she's yelling. Let's go back to really quick to the shower scene. Her mother's speaking to her in Serbian.
Yeah, it's true.
And she yells at her and says, "Mom, stop talking Serbian. You know I don't understand you."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
cut to Yugoslavia, cut to Serbia, and here we go.
Well, it's the
she
powers that are making her suddenly know how to speak Serbian because she is going there for a purpose, for a ritual.
But she would have known that anyway.
Like magic, it's instilling the power of.
Let's go to Serbia. Let's go to Yugoslavia and not know any of the language.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And it's better than that because the conductor now goes, "Oh, and I speak English."
Yeah. Like you don't know what English is.
Yeah. He's like,
until someone talks Serbian to you.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry. I little English do understand, but I never have practice to speak. Come.
He didn't know, and then he goes, "I learned English, but I have no one to speak to, so I don't know how to do it." Like, what?
But we were just speaking English to you, you dumb
And he
fuck.
would not even, he just wouldn't acknowledge the English. It was amazing until she spoke Serbian to him.
And everything they've said to him, someone's dead, we're in trouble, our friends are left behind out there, we have to stop. He just brings them to go eat.
Yep.
And he laughs the whole time and tells them they have 2 hours to the next stop.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then this is where we see in the background, there's a gentleman laying on the floor in a cloak, like a potato sack cloak, and he's playing a pan flute.
Yep.
And no one says
anything to
what's
this
your
character.
fucking deal?
Nope.
I seriously, if I was in this position and had been through what I just went through, I would have jacked this guy up against the wall and been like, "Who are you, motherfucker?"
Yeah, and by the way, he never leaves this room.
No.
He's just he's cuddled in the corner.
He's like a lamp or a desk. He's always a fixture in this room. He's just always in the corner laying on the floor. And that's it. And nobody references him. No one talks to him. He's just laying there.
Do they even recognize him? Like, did they recognize that he's there?
They don't acknowledge him
they
at
said
all.
Something, but it's never talked about.
Hey, these people really knew how to travel in style, huh?
Oh, no, not people. Only rich, like kings, and the bears and cardinals. Never people. Please, come to it. Be at home. Marius, right? Me? Keep Bosco company. Very good company. He knows speak, never speak. Maybe here, maybe not. Maybe no tongue. Best company in the world. He tell no lies. Now, let us hear your story.
Did he pay for the better ticket to sit on the floor in the in the better room?
Well,
with all
from the looks
hobbits from
of
the
his,
front?
the look of his outfit, he's not paying for shit.
No.
I love in these notes, I just wrote pan flute weirdo. All right. So, okay. Now, my favorite scene, and I wrote this too, because I had to keep writing little cliff notes, and I just wrote, where did this scarf come from? Okay, so
A scarf?
the reason I wrote this is because something is going on in the tracks now. There is a fire on the tracks, and we see that Professor McGonagall walks out of the flames, and it's a cool looking shot.
Yeah.
But they stopped the train. Now, couldn't have stopped the train to save those 2 kids that they left behind, but now they can stop the train. And when they stop the train, the 2 conductors get out, the drivers or the operators of the train. One of them gets out. And now a scarf comes out from under the tracks.
That's right.
And I was like, whose scarf is this? Why is there a scarf? Is this Professor McGonagall's scarf?
Yes, it is. So you have to go back to Moose in the classroom scene. She says, you're going to meet Professor Andromalik. And he goes, well, how are we going to know who he is? Is he going to have like a red rose or something? She goes, no, he'll find you. But as soon as we see him, he has this nice bright red scarf.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice.
He can control his scarf.
He's Dr. Strange.
Sneak up. Unbelievable. So it's the scarf is cut from the same cloth as Doctor Strange's cloak.
Gotta be.
It comes up and strangles the one guy outside and starts pulling him under the train as the train starts up again and it starts rolling toward him. He's fighting it for a good while, yelling for the other guy inside to stop the train. But we see, and I actually think this is an awesome special effect.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The guy inside is now getting sucked into the coal of the fire.
Yeah.
Where you shovel the coal in the train. He's getting sucked in it. So obviously they turned the set and made a replica set and had him falling into it.
Yeah, he's like clearly hanging. You can tell he's hanging, but
It's
it
cool.
was good.
It looks pretty cool.
It looks really cool.
It is one of the odder deaths that I've ever seen on film, and I was like, okay, this is kind of neat. It reminds me of like Freddy Krueger stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, something you would see in a dream sequence in Freddy Krueger movies.
Yeah, like in the first one when they had the rotating room in the Nightmare on Elm Street.
I can't believe he never did that in a movie. Suck someone into the furnace. That's always like a staple in one of his movies.
Yeah.
So so this guy gets pulled under the train and it pops his head off perfectly. And it keeps pushing his little fake head, which is amazing.
It was really good gore.
While the other guy is sucked into the furnace and killed.
Yeah. It was good practical effects, I think. I think they did really good.
That's a strength in this movie. It's like the effects are fun.
Yeah.
Now, I wrote to you guys, this is all I wrote. Where did the train track fire go?
So they never referenced it on fire again. It's it's like the cabin. When the cabin went on fire, it's like all of a sudden that cabin didn't burn down. It never burned down.
But I wonder if the train track fires is only seen by the actual operators of the train type thing, because no one else saw it.
Yeah, no one else sees it.
Because it goes through that area.
But that conductor who was eating with everybody, he gets out now. And I also wrote, how did the conductor just die? Like, because I didn't understand this at all. So you guys got to help me out with this one. This guy gets out, and he goes and walks behind the train. But we see that the train is detaching all the other passengers.
Right. There are hundreds of people on this train, but they detach the back cars. So there's only actually the front, there's a coal car, and then two more passenger cars in the back.
Yeah, it's like a luggage trailer, and
that's debatable.
Yeah, and in the room with the pan
changing.
flute, the guy with the pan flute has his own trailer, like his own part of the.
So while he's out going after the train to see what's going on, I guess Andromeda, whatever his name is able to somehow unlatch the back end of the train.
Yeah.
Using pure sorcery, mind you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
not even the scarf sorcery. Not even the scarf.
Yeah, the scarf.
It just automatically does it.
The scarf just
So now the train guy, the ticket guy, whatever he is, realizes that the train is taking off without him. So now he's running on, holding onto the ladder, but somehow the train that got released now becomes going faster than the train that he's hanging on to and smashes him.
Yeah.
There's these bumpers. You see them. They're like these big round things. There's like bumpers on the cars.
Mm-hmm. That attach.
It smashes in between. He gets smashed in between those.
Yeah, you can see like a big explosion of blood.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
It's like a water balloon just goes off of blood.
Yeah, it was like
this
a
is
water
one of those
balloon.
scenes that I looked down for 1 second and I missed the entire death. I was like, how did that just happen? I just saw blood blow up.
The second you look down was when you saw the blood explode.
That's it.
That's how fast it happened.
I was like, wow, that was quick.
Yeah. It was really quick.
Now, our lead actress goes up to the main car, the one where they shovel the coal the guy just got killed in.
Mm-hmm.
She goes up to the front of the car, and she has an entire conversation with one of the worst narrated demon characters. We don't know, but I guess it's somewhere in the car, because she takes like the shovel and she just starts hitting the wall. She like starts tapping the wall. Shut up! Shut up! You know, I
It's
think
like a voice in her head.
Is it a voice in her head?
Isn't it?
It's Andromeda.
The train, right?
No, it's Andromeda.
It's his voice?
It's his voice, but
it's terrible.
but no, so what it is, you kind of have to listen to it. It's like they had no idea how to turn it off. So you hear his voice and you hear a woman's voice along with his. It's almost like the echo that you're getting from him, but you also hear a woman's voice while he's talking.
Oh.
But then you hear her voice. It's like her voice doubled.
Oh, I didn't catch this at all.
It's like an echo speak. So it's like I don't know if they knew how to turn the effect off whenever they just didn't turn it off when she's talking, but they had it on with him because he's coming through. I assume is the intercom system of the train.
No, because no one else hears any of this. This is just for her and him.
Right, it's only for her.
The two of them.
But it's like it's coming through because, like you said, she starts taking the coal shovel.
Yeah.
and starts swinging at shit. She's
Yeah.
like, "Shut up!" With the whole thing. And
I guess we should talk about some of the dialogue in the sequence because I don't think that she's hearing anything in the scene, and she didn't know, and she just had lines that she had to terribly deliver, and they dubbed in later on what the ghost or monster is saying.
Yeah.
Because it says stuff like this. It says, I wrote some of this down. It just says, "Do you think this is a dream?" And then she responds by going, "This is a dream. Is it a dream?
I'm going crazy. This is a dream."
I feel like
And
she's not really hearing it. I think it's just
No, it's real.
It's not in her head.
Yeah, it's in her head, but it might be the train.
Huh.
I don't really know.
I think Scott's right. I think what it is it's almost like she's hearing something, but like you said, like it's like it was put in later. I don't know, because it's like she says stuff that kind of doubles what the voice said.
Okay.
So I get that's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's not. It's like it's so wild. It's like, is this a dream? It isn't. It's me. I know it's me. Is it me? It's not you, but it's me.
I'm
like,
crazy.
What the hell?
I'm crazy.
Oh my God.
I'm crazy. This is a dream. Wait,
But
you
is
said
he
is this a
hearing
dream?
the Professor Andromeda's voice? Is that?
I didn't know that's what it was, but if that's what it is, that makes sense.
It's him
is
talking.
Is he a demon?
No,
Don't
he's a
know.
lackey.
Yeah.
Okay, but he has powers. So
I'm guessing he's like a familiar in like a vampire lore.
Oh.
Go with me now. Go with me, Beverly.
I'd die before I'd go with you.
You will not die.
I will.
But you see, child, you cannot die.
I don't believe any of this. I'm going crazy.
Do you think this is a dream?
I'm losing my mind. This is just a dream.
Beverly, this is not a dream.
No, it's not. It's me. I know it's me. I'm going crazy. You'll have to prove to me otherwise.
The way we know that this is a creepy scene is because we cut to her mother in a bald cap, completely in white shroud, like an old woman burnt, and she has a vagina snake.
It's a goat.
Okay, that's a goat.
Oh, it's a goat?
It's a goat.
Oh, I thought it was a terrible
to Black
giant.
Phillip.
It's
No,
a goat.
That's a goat.
she gave birth to Black Phillip. Yes, she did.
It
It's
looked
a
like a
goat.
snake head.
No, it was
Oh
a
no,
goat.
no, that was a goat.
It was a goat. It
Yeah,
had
that's-
horns and everything.
And it was all slimy.
It was skinned.
What did she-
It's almost like a skinned goat.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what she said? Because I can't remember, because she said something like,
Nope.
"Honey, it's all going to be good," or something like that.
Or I'm your no. Well, so I don't know if that. I think. All right. So
She said, "I'm your
think,
mother."
I think it
Yeah.
was maybe the mother from the beginning.
It was. In
But
makeup.
they took the hair off or
Yeah.
put the bald cap on.
Why? I have no idea.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And she says to her, "I'm your mother."
Yeah.
She already knew who her mother was. Are you actually saying that the woman in the beginning was really not her mother and she was like her caretaker?
Well,
and
she's
now
like
her mother died.
the first lady of Satan or something.
I
this
think they were
lady.
kind of saying that because the mother was dead, she's in hell now, and they're using that as like a vision to her.
But she doesn't know her mother's dead.
I think
So-
that earlier when he was reading the note, she was like knowing that her mom's dead.
You might be assuming a little bit too much, but at the same
yeah.
time, maybe she did feel it because maybe she does
I
have a
feel
little
like
bit
she
of
does
that.
have powers,
Yeah.
and that's
Maybe-
why she's picked.
And maybe she just doesn't realize it yet. She doesn't know
Yeah.
what it is.
I think she's like the marked one. It doesn't really understand what's happening until later on when we'll get to that, when a character starts telling her, basically.
Yeah.
So
We're giving the movie better plot. So.
Yeah, we
without
are.
a doubt, without
Yeah.
a doubt. We cut to the two that were left behind, limping through the forest. They find a shack that seems to have something cooking going on because there's smoke coming out of the stack of the top. There's nothing in there.
Nope.
And she, by the way, she has dragged him now with his bone sticking out of his leg through a swamp.
Yeah.
And it all we kept saying was, he's already dead. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
it. I
gotta
mean,
be.
he's
Yeah.
infected. It's bad. And she lays him down on like a bird's nest inside this thing. And we see a boat just appear for them.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
And her first instinct is like, this is normal. We should take the boat.
It's like everything is set up in this movie. It's like, here, we're gonna give this to you, but don't look don't read into it. Don't read into it. It's just happening. It's just
go with it.
happening. Go
Just
with
go
it.
with it.
Yep.
We cut to now the train, and stuff goes more and more crazy, right? We find out that there's another character involved on the train. She's in the luggage area. Her name is Sava.
Sava?
Sava, she's a thief.
Sava's a thief, not a killer.
she like teams, I guess, unwillingly teams up with them, and they go find that the girl. They can't find out what happened to our lead character because she's passed out in the front car. Yeah. So they have to climb over, and that Sava girl is gonna like kind of trick them. She's gonna try to detach the cars while they're on it, but they stop her in time. So they're able to get her, and she's acting crazy right out the gate. Right, yeah. She's just nuts, and I don't know why these characters even want to help her at this point, because one, they already don't get along with her, and two, she's acting like completely mad.
Well, right? She's crazy. She's a stowaway. They don't know her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a thief. She actually confesses that she's been stealing money from the train.
Yes, and we see a whole scene of that. Like, it matters. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has no relevance.
And it's like, we're just going to use this character until we don't want to use her anymore.
Exactly. And which is funny, because that's pretty much what starts happening here as the train just gets weirder and weirder. Things are happening. We actually cut to the people in the country watching the train be a problem and not stopping at train stations and stuff like that. But what happens next is they pretty much start getting like mean to each other, especially the one woman that's still alive, on one of the kids in the school with them. She kind of insults her, and what'd she say, that she's a killer, and that she's like kind of like saying that she is you went and had sex with the conductor in the front car, and that's why now you're not a virgin anymore, and all this stuff. It's really odd. It comes out of nowhere.
I have a question about this character. So this is one of the characters from high school, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't very mean to her the whole time until just now.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Because now...
Just like her accent.
Is she possessed?
I don't know what's happening in the sequence, which we have to talk about, because the next scene...
It seems like everyone is going like total Evil Dead right now.
Yeah. Our main character slaps her in the face after she says all this mean stuff to her. And when she goes off, she runs into a room and lays down. And I guess we find out that there's one of the guys that's here is her boyfriend, which we never have had any moment of knowing this is happening.
Mm-mm.
No. So he goes into the room with her.
You know, you really fucking blew it back there. Telling her that she killed those guys? She couldn't hurt a fly.
I know. I feel really bad. I kind of flipped out for a second. Kevin?
What?
Do you love me?
Yes.
What is it you like about me?
I don't know. Your hair, your mouth, your eyes, everything.
Do you think I'm pretty?
Yes.
Come here. I want you by me. I want you so bad. Please, will you love me? Kiss me.
It's never good when someone says, "Hey, what do you love about me?" I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your hair.
I mean, like, something was weird.
Got a
like,
nice ass.
God, you got some hot tatas. But like, I don't know. I feel like they should have like set this up a little bit more, but I don't think they had any time between the two of these characters. But
no,
they start making out, and
okay, yeah,
and this, I don't know what's happening right now, but he pulls away from her and he starts spitting up blood.
It looks like
maggots.
A whole bowl of sangria comes out of his mouth.
I thought she bit off his tongue.
That would make more sense.
But he wasn't screaming. He was just throwing up blood and maggots. And then you look at her, and she has maggots all over her mouth. And then there's like a split in her head, and she starts peeling her face off.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking awesome.
It's
like
really
practical effects. But I'm like, why is this happening? Is she a deadite?
Yeah.
Like, was Dr. Pretorius, he like summoned the demon in her, or gave her some kind of demonic power or something? Because this is not the same girl. She's completely lost her mind. Now she's like a demon. Am I wrong?
I would say that too, because what's really important here is before he went and checked on her in the bedroom and had this all happen, he hugged her to make sure she was okay. And when her hand goes on his back, there's maggots coming out of her hand. And that doesn't come back ever again.
I just feel like everyone's a deadite.
Yeah, it does feel like
Like, how'd this
we feel a
happen?
very Evil Dead character. It does feel
Yeah.
strange, like they're Deadites. But okay, you think now he's seen his girlfriend's head split open and be ripped off, and he just had like a bowl full of maggots and blood in his mouth.
So
He runs
awful.
out of the room and never references this moment ever again.
No.
Because the train now is like alive. And it is driving off the tracks. It is going insane. So now everybody in this room that's left in the movie, including the pan flute guy, because they're in that room, they start flying around in the funniest shit you've ever seen. And it's just like slow motion shots of their faces. They're flying up and down. They all keep trying to stand up. And I'm like, just lay down, like stay down, man.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It was
the
amazing.
pan flute guy does.
Like, yeah. No, Moose keeps trying to get up.
Everybody, they're all
And
scrambling,
I'm
they're
just
just
like,
falling around
how
the
is
room.
this doofus still alive? How do you make it this far in this movie?
Yeah.
He's like the beefcake kind of guy, you know, like the dummy.
He survives way longer than you would think. And you know what it made me think of is that they filmed this like in Jackass when they put them all in the truck and they drove down the street.
Yeah.
And they had them all falling around in the truck while they were driving. It was like a moving truck. And they like threw like the zappers. That's what I think they did in the scene. I think they just filmed them all standing around in a back of a bed truck that they dressed up to be this room.
Mm-hmm.
So watching them all fly around, I think at one point, I think Moose, he just starts levitating, flying up and down in the middle of the room. They all look like Ray Gun from
like,
the breakdancer.
Yeah, he's like he's doing a push-up type thing to
Yes.
get off the ground just to fall back down.
It's so funny.
And not to mention, it's like at this point, it's going at regular speed. Everything's kind of going at regular speed. And then all of a sudden, we get to the point where it's like going through everything. We get these cutaway shots, these miniatures of everything going on.
Yeah, the train gets derailed and goes through the forest.
It's just going.
It's like
nonstop.
They cut to the train as a miniature. It is so funny to watch because they shoot it for a bit. Like you get to see it a long time. Yeah. So it's like they had enough faith in it, but it's so funny to see what's supposed to be rocks. It's like little like aquarium gravel. So you can clearly see it. It is so funny to watch, but it's still kind of like endearing. You know, I kind of like
it. It's nice to see
I
the little
enjoy
practical effects.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, the best part, sorry.
And at this point, going into that,
this is the best part.
It all of a sudden it just slows down and says, "You know what? We love this. We love what these actors are doing. Let's throw some music on."
Yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you.
Oh my God.
So it starts playing. A cabinet opens up with an old timey radio in it, and it starts playing music for them and watching their mouths and everything open in slow motion.
Yep.
But the best part of this is that it now goes into the water, and the train is driving in the water, and we're watching as the other two characters from before are now paddling out into the water, and they go, "I think I can hear the train. I think we're close."
How
They're
can
like,
you not?
"Oh, wait a minute, is that music playing?"
God.
And then the train just barrels through our characters.
Rips her head right off.
Now, the journey of the head is fascinating to me because the head not only goes flying into the air, but it somehow gets into the car, into the train car.
How does that happen?
I have no idea.
No idea.
It comes fast and furious itself into the window.
Yeah.
Onto a hook.
Yeah.
And we see now Beverly with the head dripping blood all over her chest.
Yeah, she's just sleeping. Now she's just laying down in bed and it's just dripping all over her. It's somehow hanging above her.
Is that really happening? Because she doesn't wake up in terror.
She doesn't. Well, no, she instead wakes up, brings the head to everybody and say, "I killed her. I killed everybody so far. I don't want it to happen to anybody else. So I did this." And she shows that she slit her wrists. Does this come back ever again?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
The movie does not care
Like,
that this happened.
why would
We didn't
you
even
put that
see
in
it
there?
happen.
No, didn't see it
we
happen.
didn't see it happen, and then they act like it didn't happen at all.
Well, they
Like,
go and run over it and they cover it up.
It's just really.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, if there are deadites and Dr. Pretorius or whatever is making things happen, why would he allow her to do such a thing? She's the one that he needs. She's there for the ritual. So why would he let her do that? It's like he's controlling everything until he's not.
That's true. And she's trying to stop it. But the movie's just like, we know that doesn't fit the plot. So let's get away from it and like kill someone else off. Because everybody will forget. Because the plan seems to be they're going to try to finally unhinge the front car from the rest of the cars. They finally came up to this conclusion. We got to try to get the train away so we can get away from this front car. But when they do this, the one guy who is the boyfriend that ate the maggots that never references his girlfriend's dying.
Let's call him Chip because he looks like Chip.
Chip he goes between and dangles between two. This is like the worst idea you can come up with. And I don't know how this happens, but chains just cut him in half.
The one chain breaks
and just
rips him right in half.
Right in half.
This was the one scene of practical effects.
That was good.
That
it was good.
I got to tell you, it was incredible. Except they showed his face too long.
Yeah.
And he looked like a dummy. A paper mache dummy head.
Well, they have an animatronic dummy that's just wiggling back and forth, but you can see his face.
Yeah, so the face, the eyeballs were like painted on with paper mache. And
I think they were hoping you were going to only stare at the midsection that is just pouring guts.
But if you're us and you look at everything, it was pretty
Your
pretty
eye
bad.
wanders real quick.
Yeah.
It just wanders over and you're like,
Yeah,
that sucks. But then it falls, and we watch it get run over as well.
Yeah. It's pretty good practical effects.
So this now comes to Moose and Sava,
Sava,
a tank girl.
Yeah.
They come up with an idea to they have explosives on board for some reason, and they're like, and also shotgun shells. It's all over the room. I don't understand why any of that's in this movie, but they're gonna now strap the explosives all over the train.
Yeah, so we get that little bit of a scene where she's taking all the gunpowder out of the shotgun shells. I think that is
how she made the explosives.
Right.
Okay, that makes more sense. But now, in a really odd moment, Moose hangs outside of the car screaming.
Okay, why does Moose do this? What was the reasoning? Because if he wanted to just jump off the train, he could have done so at any time. So why was he hanging outside of the train?
And he's screaming like a madman, and he's hanging off like a window or something, or a door.
Window or a door.
And now the train controls the what's that called?
The arm that goes up and down, the guard, the
to stop
train,
traffic,
the railroad train. Yeah, the railing.
Yeah, and it jousts Moose. It literally jousts him
right through.
Meanwhile, it has to turn.
Yes.
Into that. It has to turn into him because it's already far enough away.
Yes.
But it has to come up
turning and
only
lifting.
to a point, and then it turns over. And Joe, you even said it too. It's a film of Final Destination death.
Yes, it is.
Because every single thing is set up just so like that like right when you're watching Final Destination that that's gonna happen, that's gonna come into play, that's gonna come into play.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie is set up exactly like that. Like you know exactly how these people are gonna die.
Well, once you see it, you know. Mm-hmm. There's no way you would know otherwise.
Right, and it's crazy, okay, I get it, they needed more characters for the movie, but like they survived the cabin fire just to die in these crazy ways, you know? Yeah. Like, I feel like they should have made at least one dude survive, you know? It was kind of weak. I mean, they should have made Chip survive. He was actually the one that did the most.
Yes.
Which they made it seem at one point he's going to be the romantic lead. At one point, it seemed like they kept. He had a little bit more. He had way more lines than the other guy.
Oh, for sure.
So it made it seem like he even had more than Moose.
Yes.
So it makes it seem like he's going to be the one. After Maggot Mouth, whatever she ends up. You think she's going to. No. He's the next one to go.
I know.
And okay, now the oddest death hasn't happened yet because I still don't understand what happened here. Sava, she puts the explosives all around the car. And then the door shuts and locks her out.
Yeah, so she gets blown up.
And she just goes, eh. And then I guess she blows up because we don't see what happened to her. And the explosives did absolutely nothing.
They did nothing. There was no point to that at all.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like, Dr. Andromeda, or whatever, he's controlling this whole thing. Because he made that door shut and lock on her. He made those explosives do nothing to the train. So it's like, okay, you're controlling all this. Why are you going through all these elaborate deaths for these people? Like, I know he tried to burn them and just get rid of them in the beginning, but I feel like he's controlling everything that's happening on this train, and it's just so extra and time consuming. Just to get her to one point in the movie where she can do what she has to do.
Yeah, I mean that's his whole plot, but it seems like they could have just shot them.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like it was just
odd.
so extra.
But I guess because
movie.
Yeah. I love that I wrote this on. I just wrote the note. This train is a bastard. Like I just wrote that. Now Professor Pettigrew shows up, and he shows up in a, what was it, like an old timey horse and buggy.
Yeah,
and because the train now stops because it's like we killed everybody, everybody's dead.
Right. So for whatever reason, the movie has to throw this in there. There's like some train station that they're watching the train on the tracks, which is the only thing I can decipher because they keep going back. It looks like now that the train is going to be going back into this town where they first went to.
Yeah.
So it turns out now they're watching it. They're watching the train go through the whole thing. Now all of a sudden they see another train. It's heading towards another train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
this is where I think that's why I wrote this train as a bastard.
That's why it's
because I forgot about that sequence. It just decided to go backwards and ram another train and kill that entire train without any problems.
Well, so the whole point of that, like you see it a couple times, it does the train switching, it does the track switching.
It goes on and on. Yeah.
So I think the whole point is for them to go back to the city that they went to originally for this ritual to happen.
Yes.
That's why it keeps circling around. So this train has gone crazy. It's like you said, it's a bastard. It's trying to take them back to the city. And that's why it ends up on the train tracks to go back to that. And now, but at this point, there's another train going towards the same city. So now there's two trains going towards each other.
It's so extra. Like, I feel like we didn't need this whole scene with the extra train.
No, it's just more like, hey guys, we got to do more crazy shit in this movie to make it,
True.
fun. So,
well, did we skip over the pan flute and our main character?
Oh, I was about to skip over that, but thank you for bringing it up because after the train goes through the other train, it pretty much stops.
Mm-hmm.
And now we see that Professor McGonagall is coming in and he's going to get out of his carriage and pick her up. And we see all the villagers are there now. Yep. But inside, the one person we forgot about is the pan flute guy who stands up in front of her and they look at each other longingly. They get shot in shot of eyes. He drops his robe. Now he's just like, he looks like he's out of like a Gucci ad or something. Like he just came out of some kind of ad. He's like a model, you know what I mean? And they played Enya over this. I wouldn't be shocked. And then when he drops his robe, how awesome his body is has blown her clothes straight off.
I mean, they disappear.
The clothes are gone.
Yes.
And gone. And this is where I guess he uses his pan flute and he does some magic because
from pan flute to skin flute. Here we go.
We don't see anything. All we see is her leave the train and
the villagers are there with their little clapping rocks.
Mm-hmm, and she gets on the horse and buggy and goes with him. Her clothes instantly change to sexy lingerie.
Mm-hmm.
That it can expose her birthmark that is now painted. It's like bright red under there.
Yeah, it's real dark.
And she marches into a barn, a terrible barn. She goes up to a platform. She basically like there's a conversation between her and Professor Pig, and Professor Pig is like, Satan's going to be so happy with you, and the Dark Lord is going to be happy to have you as his wife. He's going to get rough with you, just so you know. But after that, you can have anything you want, and you're going to be on his right side. You're going to be a part of this. And I don't know why, but she asks, and what about you? What's going to happen to you? And he's like, well, you won't need me after that. I serve my Lord.
Well, so now we know what the ritual actually is. She's going to be the wife of Satan.
He's got to have sex with a virgin is the whole plot of this movie.
And she bears the mark of whatever.
She was like, that mark, I guess, is the chosen ones. And he specifically chose this girl for Satan to be the wife. Right. And so then I guess he's like, I'm so happy I chose you. I chose right. All this crap. Right. Well, she just walks through like she's a now badass. She's like a totally different person. I think that he kind of notices that something's different. But she walks up to this pedestal. She goes all the way up. And that's where Granny Goodness shows back up. Oh. What's her name again? Gypsy?
Gypsy.
And Gypsy goes down the pants and goes and finds out, oh my God. But before that, like Satan rises up in what looks like that Spinal Tap thing that they come out.
Oh my God! And Nigel gets stuck in it.
Yeah, it looks like a block of ice, but he's moving in there.
Derek Smalls gets stuck in it.
Yeah, but it looks like a block of ice because it's dripping, and he's moving in it, so he's not frozen or anything, but he looks terrible.
That's awful.
He's really bad. He's like the worst effect I think in this whole film.
Yeah, I think
you
that's
look
why
at
they,
him.
I think that's why they did it. They covered up the makeup was so bad.
Yeah, they covered it with like frost on the thing or whatever.
Yeah, well, they learned that she's not a virgin no more.
A woman grabs in there,
Well,
and she's like, "Whoop."
we get another fisting scene.
Yes.
Yep. And oh my god.
Now this is the scene. I literally don't know what's happening here because them finding out that she is now not a virgin any longer, that she had sex with Pan Flute.
Yep.
They melt. Everybody dies. Satan explodes. The entire village dies.
Yeah.
Like Professor
what happens
Pig,
to Professor
he melts.
Andromic
He
or
goes against
whatever?
the wall and you watch his face melt.
Yeah.
He melts? Oh yeah,
melts.
that's right. His face melts.
He melts.
What happened to the witch? The
She,
witch
like, blows up.
Gypsy.
I think she started like aging even more.
Yeah,
she really aged. You could see like her skin started going like gray and green.
So this guy's been on this train, Pan Flute. He's been on this train for hours and hours and hours. Why did it take him that long to penetrate her?
Yeah, why didn't he do it sooner?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, why did they have to kill everybody? It's not a part of the ritual, I don't think.
Why didn't he be like, "Hey, I'm here to, de-virginize you"?
I guess Pan Flute has a sense of humor. I guess.
Maybe.
I mean, I just love that she went through all of this. All they had to say was, she's no longer a virgin, and they just die. That's it. That's their kryptonite.
So she's the
non-virgin.
only one that
I know
there's
there's not another
no
choice.
other choice.
They didn't have a backup plan.
But that's from the beginning of the movie though. But which makes no sense because they
I
said
don't know.
Beverly's marriage. Beverly never got married.
No.
What?
Yeah, it says on
because that was the marriage. They have to consummate the wedding
they
or whatever
had to-
on the
yeah.
altar, but she has to check if she's a virgin first.
Right.
And then what would happen? She'd give birth to Damien?
I thought that's what they were gonna say, but it didn't seem like it. They just said they were gonna rule together, and I didn't understand any of this dialogue.
Seems like she wants to, be the wife of Satan.
No, I think
could
that
be a
she's
good
like
gig for her.
she knowingly knows that it's not going to happen.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too. It's like she's playing them to the point now where they're going to find out, but wouldn't they already know that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I just don't know why no sex blew the devil. Is it blue balls? Like he's just like exploding from the non-release?
There's
like he
no
can't
other
take it anymore?
There's no other virgins. How did she get this?
Yeah, Granny
birthmark?
Goodness. It's got to be a virgin. This is like a Monster Squad reference, right?
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
a Monster Squad.
They don't even
Isn't she
go-
a virgin?
Yeah.
Like who touched Granny Goodness?
They honestly, they don't give you any backstory on her or like why she's the chosen one. She just has this birthmark.
Yeah,
it's
I
weird.
think somebody from that village was born with that birthmark is like a chosen one. I have no idea.
Well,
but the movie just
it's quickly said that he chose you.
yeah, but
why?
not Satan. Professor Pig did or Pettigrew, whatever the hell his name
Well,
is.
no, I thought he's the one that said that he chose you, referencing Satan has picked her.
No, because he keeps saying, "I chose wisely. He's going to be happy."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
keeps saying it. He keeps saying that I made a good choice and all this stuff. That's why I was like, okay, that's why he melted. Or I'm guessing Satan was mad at him and burned them all because they got the wrong one. But why does he die?
Yeah.
Or is he just going back to hell? Like, I can't come back for another 1,000 years or something. Well, here's a really odd moment. Now, the next scene is she's all happy. A guy at the passport at the hotel looks at her passport and go, "This can't be you. It's only from 3 months ago."
Wow, so she was gone 3 months.
That's what I was wondering too.
The hell out.
Or is that when
a
she got her
lot.
passport photo? I don't know. And he's saying she looks different. She looks absolutely the same. I guess they're just making a joke that she had sex and she looks better.
Interesting.
Wow.
And then the next shot is she's walking away and some woman stops her to give her the book again. And it's Pan Flute standing in a window staring at her. They stare at each other and she goes on the airplane and she looks at the book and she sees that in the book, if she would have read this earlier, maybe she would have learned some stuff. She didn't read any of this shit.
Nope.
But in the book, there's a whole passage about how that guy Pan Flute is actually some kind of demon that became an angel that protected the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his whole picture was drawn in there.
It's perfect. It's him.
And he's like from the 1600s or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
His name is like Marcos or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's like, the savior.
Yeah.
It took him long enough, I mean, he could have actually said something to her before all that biz started happening on the train.
Anything.
Yeah.
And maybe deflowered her before all that, but movie.
So how about the fact that this book could also be the same book that her mother gave her at the airport?
I think it is.
Yeah, so had she looked at this goddamn
That's what
thing.
I'm saying.
Right, so it
She
makes no
would've-
sense.
Yep.
We made it all the way to this point,
Yeah. And she never opened it.
and we finally got the reason why all this happened.
Yeah.
And it still makes no sense.
Yeah,
No.
I'm sorry. If I was handed a weird book like that, I would not be able to control myself. I would have to look at it. And she never did, obviously, because she would have seen Marcos's face in there.
So meanwhile, this guy has the best job on the planet. Gonna go around and bang every virgin.
Yeah. Yeah, just waiting to steal virginity. Yeah.
Oh,
Satan picked
man.
you. I
Yeah.
got you first.
I love that she has a dream sequence on the airplane, like that episode of Twilight Zone. A demon reaches in and tries to rip her out, and she just wakes up from a dream, and she just says, "I want to go home," and that's the end of the movie with the credits. And I just looked at you guys and said, "Can't wait till she finds out her mom's dead."
Yep.
Yep. Doesn't even know.
She doesn't even know.
Well,
No.
well, apparently somehow she already knows. I mean,
That's true.
We're assuming
We're
that,
assuming that maybe she does know, but it doesn't tell us any of that.
no, it doesn't reference any of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And when is she going home to? She has
So-
like nothing.
here's the other thing too. So if it has been 3 months and she's looked a little different, she didn't think to call home. Where was she in the meantime? Did
Exactly.
you decide to go around and tour the country a little bit more?
She went sightseeing.
We might be pushing it. She might have gotten the photo and the passport done and waited like a couple months to go on the trip, and it's only been a couple weeks. But who knows? But it just made me laugh that she looks different now only because she had sex.
Yeah.
To this guy, it's like you got to get a new photo.
Well,
you look totally different.
Women look happier and more alive and more vibrant.
She got that Marius glow.
After they get a little something.
She got a little something.
They should have played a
Yeah,
little pan
something.
flute at the end for,
Oh.
for her to remember.
Every woman needs a little pan flute.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just a little pan.
Get a little Zamfir
Don't
in
say,
your life.
stop saying the word little, guys. So, anyways,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, that's the movie.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And there's no doors in it.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
there's a door. There's one door.
They try to rip open a wood door that was badly tacked together.
Yeah, and somehow they built this barn in the middle of the forest where they're doing this thing.
Yeah.
But I don't remember seeing it. They just stop.
No.
They stop the carriage. She gets out, and
It's like a
somehow a
giant
door
warehouse.
opens up.
Yeah.
It's a warehouse with a lift that brings Satan up on a lift.
Yep.
Like it. I didn't know if you guys noticed that too. I was
Yep.
like, "Where's this lift?"
He's waiting for his cue down.
I just wish that we could put in the sound effects of the lift going up. You know, like
The icy pits of hell.
yeah, the icy pits of
God.
hell.
Wow.
Oh God.
So this is our second viewing of this movie.
Yeah, but didn't it feel like the first?
It felt like the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I remembered was the barn blown, on fire. That's the only scene I remembered.
Yeah, and that's such a typical thing to see in movies like this. You know that they're going to be sacrificed the moment they're put in there.
Yeah.
Like we were just so accustomed to that now. I just remember a guy. I remember the whole movie looking at this guy in the corner, going, "Who is that guy with the pan flute?" And then at the end of the movie, being laughing, going, "Holy crap! That's what he was laying there for the whole movie." And I don't know how many times I must have fell asleep during it, so I must have missed a lot. And then just finally seeing him, I'm like, that's the point.
And
That's the whole point.
And the only reason why you know that he's important is because I think it's like 2 or 3 times you kind of see he kind of looks out of the side of his hood. He's got his hood on the entire time, even
Yeah.
when he's playing the flute, but you can only see the one eye. So it's like, this guy's mysterious. He's going to show up.
Yeah.
Finally.
For
what?
I know. Sex. Sexy time.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
it.
Which pan flute already gave away
Is that why he was huddled down on there? He's hiding the boner the entire time?
He was ready to go from
He's like,
moment
oh
one.
man, she's on the train. Finally.
Oh my God.
I've waited minutes for this.
All right. So I guess the question we always ask is this the worst movie ever made?
Nope.
No. Not even close.
Nope.
But what would we give it out of 10
Well,
stars?
this is so bad it's good because we had a lot of good scenes in this, even though it was a little busy and convoluted at times and a lot of needless shots. I'm so giving it a 4.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 as well.
I think so. Four fits it just right.
It's the so bad it's a good score for us.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we always give movies like this. I will say it almost drops a star only because it is a little boring in there.
Yeah.
For some reason, during what should be excitement, the train stuff, it gets oddly boring.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
At some point, it's like I don't think they really know what to do.
Yes.
It seems like the dialogue just drops out for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like there's scenes that happen, and we say like maybe 10 words.
Yeah,
True.
they're just sitting, and then they're sitting again, and then they have like some dialogue, and then they're sitting again.
We should point out that the version we watched, for some reason, doesn't have subtitles on scenes of people from the area talking, which was really off-putting.
Yeah, it was completely in a different language.
In the opening of the movie, we did have a subtitle, so it was very strange.
Weird.
And then we had it at the end after the second checking of her, where Gypsy says she's not a virgin.
Oh, that's right. Oh, thank you for pointing it out. Yeah.
But meanwhile, we had plenty of other scenes where we could have used what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Multiple scenes of people trying to figure out where the train is that don't matter.
Right.
Nope.
Right. Exactly.
Just to find out that it's headed for another train.
Yeah.
You could have skipped all that.
Yeah.
Right. It was too much.
They set up trucks on the train tracks. They run through that. It's like not important. It's kind of boring.
Unimportant.
Although I give them credit for blowing up multiple things in this movie.
No.
It's not important, know,
Right.
at all. So, that's the only reason it almost goes down. But for the practical effects, for the oddly unique stuff that's happening in the film, it's definitely worth a watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't even do my segment of why we can't have nice things because there's no 10-star review.
Oh, I mean, Jared did find something, and he read it to us beforehand. We were like, "Oh, damn, you should have waited for that."
I thought there would be at least one other one.
Yeah.
The person didn't even rate it. He just reviews. He just
reviews the
it.
film, and he basically says, "Screw everybody for not
go watch Matlock with your grandma."
Yeah, sissies.
What?
Sissy.
You little sissies. Like this is and he mentions in there it's a dozen. He's seen this a couple dozen times.
That's
I think
great.
he says.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my god.
That's.
I mean, I would watch this movie again because I feel like there's things in there that I feel like I missed, and maybe I didn't. Maybe they're just thrown in there for no reason. But I feel like I would watch this movie again.
I think it's a good movie for a bunch of people to get together and joke around with.
Absolutely.
It's a good beers. Everybody's sitting around having a good time, and you get a good group of people who like laughing at bad movies. This is definitely a pick for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is mostly what we've been doing on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the pool from last week.
Yeah.
But maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, anybody got any like closing thoughts on this movie or?
I mean, I still want to know what happened to those people. I know I looked them up. It's no one in the main cast has died.
No, I didn't say anybody in the main cast. I said all the
the crew.
Yeah, the non, the people
main
without faces
players.
on there, but they're characters in the movie. There's a bunch of them. Every time I clicked on one, I was like, oh, that person died in 95. Oh, that person died in 95. All in the country that they filmed the movie in.
That's so bizarre. I need to know.
I wonder if there was the villagers that you're talking about.
I think it
Maybe
is.
they
That's
put
why I was
those
saying
there.
to you. I was like, it's definitely people who are in the area.
That's
Yeah.
terrible. That
Yeah.
is like tragic.
Who knows? We'll never know.
I don't know. I want
unfortunately.
to know, and I'm gonna
I
find
was
out.
shocked that they actually had those listings and had updates. It rarely ever occurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, all right. Well, thank you to our special guest star.
Thank you so
for
much.
joining us.
It's always great to be with you guys.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again.
Yeah. Well, I already talked to him. I said, I think you're going to have to come over again for another one. At this point, I'm like, we might as well just cap out the month with the next couple of weeks of just Jared coming over with a movie.
I know.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I feel like that Joe should pick the next one, though, because I picked one, you picked one.
Oh, you don't want me to pick it.
Yeah.
I'll
What are
have
you
you guys
talking about?
watching some sleazy hoes from the 80s, you know,
Sounds like a fun time to me.
Yeah.
babes and booze and bazookas.
We only saw 2 breasts tonight. That was it.
That's right. That's right.
You know, that's
So-
a loss right there. You know?
No Gypsy boobs?
Nope.
Oh,
No Gypsy
good
boobs.
Lord. They'll probably look like Magda's.
She was walking around, but it's like someone took a summer sausage and put a green screen on it and had it in her mouth the entire time. She
Oh
was
my
just gaped
God.
open the entire time.
man.
She's the creepiest effect in this whole movie. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you want me to pick the next one? I sure will.
All right. So
But-
that's what might be what happens next week.
I mean, you can't fight me on it. I get to pick.
All right.
I'm not fighting anything.
Well, you and I usually see eye to eye on these
Oh,
things.
yeah.
All right, everybody.
We usually pick smut.
All right, as usual, everybody, hit us up on Instagram at Just Another Movie Night and Joe at The Crafty Misfit. Give us a theme for a month. Give us any recommendations. Tell us why you think there should have been a fourth Beyond the Door. Is there a fourth Beyond the Door?
There better not be.
Oh, I think there is. I think it's called Embryo.
What?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, until next time, everybody. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. Bye.
I've seen these things before. Young people can be so very cruel.
It's really not their fault. It's me.